Welcome to the preview of the Spanish Grand Prix. Round 9 already in this long season. 16 races still to go, thankfully, on this one. And it's the big weekend, the Aero GP, where the new technical directive for the front wing comes into place, where they're getting tighter on the flexi front wings this time round, and plenty of upgrades I'm sure will be coming, especially on that front wing. The first of them will be Ferrari. They were meant to be bringing a big aero package over the last 3 Grand Prix. That's been delayed. They're only bringing a front wing for this weekend. The rest of the main package will be coming later next month. So a little bit of disappointment for Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, who are crying out for upgrades. But apparently Mercedes have been talking that Ferrari should be the least affected by this technical directive. I think they didn't do as much or go down the rabbit hole of this flexi front wing as much as other teams took advantage of it, like McLaren and Mercedes. We've seen how much their front wings have been flexing in the races. But Ferrari felt the need that they do need to make sure that they are compliant with this one. Sauber, though, are the ones that are bringing a big upgrade. Another second major upgrade of the season for them. Gabi Bortoleto hyping that up and really looking forward to that when he finished in Monaco, saying, you know, this one is the big one. It should help us to improve our position and at least getting into Q2 in qualifying, and also helping us in the race and to be better. So it's a new front wing for them, definitely, as well as other aero packages to help them with balance and just adaptability to try and get the car to suit more of the circuits that they go to. So they're looking for more consistency to get into Q2. Let's see how they get on with that one. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of other teams bringing upgrades, and we'll see more of them when we get to FP1 on the Friday. There's going to be some rookies taking place in the some seats in the FP1 sessions. Victor Martins will be going in the Williams, replacing Alex Albon for FP1, as will Hirakawa will be taking the place of Ocon for Haas. Let's take a quick look at the circuit, because we will definitely be getting overtakes here this time round. We only got one in Monaco, which was an absolute, bore of a fest of a race. But last year we got 55 overtakes. The year before that, in 23, we got 65 and 50 overtakes in 22. So we definitely get overtaking here. 4.6 kilometers this one, 14 turns, 2 DRS zones down into turn 1 and turn 10. It's a 66 lap race, and we did see plenty of overtakes down into that turn 1 last year. We've got a mixture of corners here, slow, medium and high speed corners around here, mid to high downforce setups that we'll see on the cars around here. Like I said, it's all about the aero. It's where they've tested for years to see how good their car will be. And it should really, if we're going to get any shake-up of the grid following this technical directives, it will show here. So it's interesting that they've introduced it for this race, and interesting to see now we'll get a real true picture of where everybody lies once this technical directive has come into place. So a really interesting race when it comes to that. Let's talk tyres, and it's the hardest in the range from Pirelli this weekend. C1 for the hard, C2 for the mediums, and C3 for the softs. Strategy, which normally a 2-stop strategy, we will potentially see some 3 stops. I always prefer the 2-stop strategy races. Medium and soft tyres will be preferred for the race. Likely we'll to see like a soft, medium, soft strategy call on the tyres that kind of worked best that we saw last year. I mean, Lewis Hamilton with the overtakes on the softs in the end, and everyone that went with the mediums or hards didn't really work in the race last time out. So anyone with the softs went really, really well in the end. But if you qualify badly, the hard's probably the one to go on to just long it out and then just see what you can do in the end. Weather conditions, it'll be dry and hot, 29 degrees predicted for pretty much all weekend, so no rain for this weekend. On to the predictions. Well, I've gone for pole position for Lando Norris to pick up where he left off in Monaco. He'll be on a high with upgrades. I'm sure he'll be looking to keep that, and I don't think the technical directive will affect McLaren as much as the other guys have hoped. We saw that when they thought that about the rear wing, and it really didn't kind of come to fruition, that one. And their car's been good around pretty much all corners, so I just see them continuing their form here. Max Verstappen, I think he'll be better than we've seen in Monaco. They kind of like these medium high-speed corners in the Red Bull, and he can always pull off a lap, so I'm predicting him to be second in qualifying. And Charles Leclerc for third in the Ferrari. I think they'll be better here. For the race, I've gone for Max Verstappen, though, to nick the win, just on strategy calls, and I just see that him doing that. He always pulls off some magic, and that Red Bull now isn't as bad in the races as we've seen previously. They're much better on their tyres. They've kind of worked out a little bit of how to keep their rears cooler, a bit like the McLarens have done with their brake duct. And that's been the big one for them. And in the last couple of races, we have seen them better in race conditions. Lando Norris to come home in second place and Charles Leclerc in third, so not seeing massive changes around in the top three. I do predict it'll be a good weekend, though, for the Aston Martins. They have gone well, and Fernando Alonso finally to get some points on home soil. I think it'll be a bad weekend for the Haas guys. They've just struggled in certain circuits, and I just don't think they've got the overall package, and that will expose them a little bit here this weekend. Let's take a look at the championship, and it's, well, could we see a change of hands at the top of the championship? And if it goes as I've predicted, we definitely probably will. Oscar Piastri leads the way currently on 161 points, 3 points clear of his teammate Lando Norris on 158 points. Max Verstappen back 25 points of the leader on 136 points. George Russell is back in fourth place on 99 points, 62 behind the leader, and Charles Leclerc 82 points back off the current leader of Piastri on 79 points. It does look like it's getting close for between Verstappen and Norris, though, and Verstappen keeping himself in a shout of the championship still. Let's take a look at the teams or the Constructors' Championship, because this is where it's getting massively tight in and behind McLaren, who are absolutely running away with it. They're on 313 points leading the way. Second place, Mercedes, comfortably way back, aren't they? Like 172 points behind McLaren on 147 points, but right behind them, just 4 points behind, Red Bull now on 143 points. Big points gained on them after the Monaco Grand Prix, and there was no points for Mercedes on offer that time round. And then Ferrari just 1 point behind Red Bull on 142 points. So anything to pick between them sort of three teams up for the second place in the Constructors. Williams comfortable in fifth place at the moment on 54 points, 88 points behind Ferrari, and they're ahead of Haas who are on 26 points, a 28-point lead on them. And then RB just 4 points now behind the Haas team, who are in sixth on 22 points. So we'll see a battle for the sixth place, and we're seeing really a battle for the second place between the top three teams, really: Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari. McLaren just seem comfortably running away with it at the moment, especially with both guys consistently on the podiums, and it should be a really interesting race. Let me know your thoughts. Who do you think? Will we get a massive shake-up up at the front after this technical directive? Qualifying will show the true colours of where the land lies on this one. I really can't wait for that. The last of the triple headers before we head off to Canada in a couple of weeks' time, and it should end up a really interesting championship battle for the drivers at least, and who knows what will happen with the teams and constructors. Could we see a big change going from here on? A lot of races still to go, and a lot could still change in them championships. It should be fun, it should be fast, and it'll be exciting, definitely, with some overtaking here. Fingers crossed. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. As always, I'll see you on the next one. It'll be a different location. I'm away for the Spanish Grand Prix qualifying and race. The driver's prediction will be coming a week later, but rest assured I'll bring you my thoughts on the qualifying and the race on Saturday and Sunday, so watch out for them. Thanks for watching. See you next one.